Welcome to Heat and Voices, Mr. J.Dodgson. Hello, it's good to have you.
Make no mistake. I want to go in with you to rescue the princess. I will deal with you personally when this is over. Yes, hello, good day, good morning, and hello, Heat fans.
All right, let's start right away. Today for this podcast episode, I did a little bit of homework and went over to your channel, watched some of your videos, especially the shorts.
You can't say he's going to be a forever, right? I mean, his whole life, he didn't want to be a He only wanted to be good.
The only option for him is to become a villain.
Oh, no.
I like feet. Do you see this? What do you think of it?
I see normal foot.
That's your boy's foot. It's pretty good. Can you give me some normal pictures? This x-ray isn't quite doing it for me. Come on, I'll pay you.
And one question that came to mind right away was, did anyone ever feel offended by one of your jokes?
I imagine they have, but nobody's ever said so.
Alright, so you never received like any comment or something saying like, "Oh bro, how can you do that? It's so inappropriate," or something?
Funnily enough, no, not even for the most offensive things. Just straight up people either just say, "This is peak," which I hate, or they say, "Oh, it's funny, it's cinema," or whatever, and I don't get anyone hating on it. If anyone did hate it, they just click dislike, and they can't even do that anymore.
Oh yeah, they removed that. I saw you actually posting about it. You don't like this, right?
No, I don't like it. If people dislike my videos, I want them to leave a dislike.
Yeah, I can understand. It's also a very Dodgson-like attitude, I think. I've known you for...
Yeah, I think everyone's entitled to it, you know. If
Absolutely.
you like it, you like it. If you dislike it, then dislike it. If you want to tell me that I'm amazing, do so. I'd love that. But if you've got critique, even better.
Sweet. You've been in the game, in the voice acting game for, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's been 15 or 16 years.
Ish, yeah. It's not been continuous, but been on and off, yeah.
Alright, cool. So, in all of that time, did you ever receive like a comment where you would say, "Man, that's a dumb comment," but you actually more or less answered that before, so you can say something more if you like.
I mean, yeah, I've had plenty of comments that I think were dumb. I mean, not long ago, one person left a comment on my video. What was it he said? It was a bunch of slang, and I had to run it through an AI translator to understand what it meant.
Here we go. It wasn't like some
it just translated to like, "This is great," right?
Oh.
But it made no sense to me. I could not parse it.
Oh boy. Yeah, I sometimes have that as well, especially with English not being my native language. People write like slangy stuff and I'm like, okay, I'm lost. I don't get it.
Yeah. Doesn't help when it's like abbreviations and just a random jumble of letters.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I kind of, copy that shit after a while. If it happens a lot, I use it sometimes as well. But other than that, I like plain, understandable language. Have you ever looked back at an old video of yourself, or an old video that you've created or posted or something, and thought, what the hell was I doing?
Yeah, more or less every video, I think. Especially when I look back at my oldest stuff, and some of it never became public. Some of it was just unlisted. And I look at it and I think, oh, I sound like an arsehole. I hate what I sound like in this video, and I hate the things I'm saying. And I'm like, if I could go back and redo that, I absolutely would not. It's too much effort.
But
I kind of wish that I was motivated.
It seems to be like a normal thing, because whenever I look up the old ones, I'm like, oh my god, what did I do there? Little middleman, I think that's your part. Hello, you there? We lost him. Wait.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
So it's like happening to everyone, I think. Lots of your content is like, I think abridged style, if you can say that.
Now you scream when you look at me. Do I make you horny, baby? Do I make you feel randy? Naughty?
Listen, white man.
What?
I think you might have gotten the wrong home.
Did you fucking call me white? I'm not white, am I? Anyway, that's a lot of names.
Yeah.
Why do you prefer abridged series over like original content or other stuff?
I feel like the best answer, honestly, is it's convenient. I don't have to use my brain.
Oh, okay. That's where it comes from.
I can take something that already exists and that I already really enjoy, and then just remove the dialogue, sit down with a friend and a beer or a scotch or whatever it is that I've got at the moment, and just start saying the first thing that comes to mind. It's really straightforward and just a lot of fun.
Okay, so basically, you could say that everything you do on their channel or everything that is being posted is something that you're genuinely a fan of?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not like hating on any type of content?
Oh, no. I wouldn't post something if it was just to be hateful.
Awesome. That's amazing.
I wouldn't be motivated to do that.
Right. Yeah, it just shows your character, which is pretty cool, I think. Another question is, what's the secret to writing something offensive that's still funny?
I might be the wrong person to ask.
I think you're right.
Because I can unpack it and I can say, well, first things first, I don't write it. So I don't write. That might be the first problem. And secondly, I think most of the offensive stuff I do isn't funny. I think most of it is just offensive.
It is subjective. I laugh my ass off every time, especially the Death Note videos. By the way, am I allowed to blend in some of your videos?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna show some stuff, and I was losing my shit sometimes when I watched it, especially the Death Note stuff.
Again, I have to teach you fucking idiots everything about the real world. Oh my god. Oh, like you'll survive
How do you
anyway.
spell Hideki Kamiya?
Get up.
How do you spell Hideki Kamiya? I'm trying to write it down for a project, but I can't, and that's more important than reading this book.
Get out. Get out of my class.
Not this again.
You're expelled.
So it's all improv, you're saying?
Yeah, like, you know when you see a cat and it's just sort of like, I don't know, it's trying to like lick its own arse and it falls over and like, lands in the water bowl, and you think to yourself, what is going on in that cat's mind, right? And then you realize nothing is going on in there. That's me. I'm not thinking at all. I'm just speaking.
Oh man, I there is some a way to your thinking that is kind of unreachable for me, because I think, especially with the background that this is improv, I think it's genius. I'm looking at it and I'm like, how does he come up with that? I'd never be able to do some sort of that stuff. So
I think the best way that I can answer that is, if you're doing it on your own, it's really hard, right? Like, let's say you've got a canvas and someone says, paint a pretty picture. You don't really know where the first stroke is going to go. But if someone throws just a splotch of paint on the canvas, you know how to continue it, right? I feel like improv works great when you have someone there.
I think I understand. I have another question here. I think you kind of answered it already. You can elaborate if you like. It's, have you ever written something and thought, yeah, maybe that's too much? But scratch the written, because I just found out you don't write.
There's plenty of times where I've said something, or even just caught myself before saying something and thought that it was because it was too much, only to have my friend who's there with me during one of the sessions he's on the same wavelength, so he knows exactly what I did not say, and then he says it.
You mentioned
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, you mentioned your friend a couple of times since we met. Is it always the same friend you're talking about?
Usually when it's the improv stuff, it is, because he likes improv much the same way that I do. He does do voice acting as well. He's in a couple of other projects with me here and there. But he's been sick, so he's been getting better. But it's not just him. Sometimes there's my wife, and sometimes there's another woman from Ireland. Whose name is Vin. She's also a voice actor, and she's in a couple of my things because she's in the My Hero stuff, and she got to play Mount Lady and Deku's mother.
Oh, come on now. The doctor has to touch your feet, dear. I can't believe I sold them for $40. I didn't mean it, sweetie.
Yeah, my mother's a bitch. So it's sometimes it's mostly the one friend, but there's a couple of others that crop up now and then.
Let's see, what else do we have here? This is gonna be a little bit more, not deep, but a little bit different. Is there any, since you have quite a lot of experience, is there any piece of advice that you would say is kind of overrated? That new guys get a lot?
That's a tough one. I mean, any advice that's overrated? Sometimes I feel like a lot of people put a lot of importance on courses and training, which is great. Courses and training are fantastic, but I think that some people are a little over-reliant on them. I think sometimes you have to get your hands dirty and get practice rather than, shelling out money for someone to tell you what you probably already should have known.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, sometimes the feedback you get in some of those courses, if you take an improv course, for example, sometimes the feedback is great. But I've seen plenty of courses where I'm just kind of like, most of this is going to be common sense. You probably already know it.
That's a good answer. The next one actually kind of is connected to this question, but it's what's something beginners obsess over that doesn't actually really matter that much? Since I'm sure you kind of had to do with beginners a lot over the course of all those years.
Yeah.
So I'm asking these kind of questions.
Let's see. If I was to put a finger on the biggest one, I think people put a lot of importance on having. It might sound a bit weird coming from me, but having a very large range where you don't really have to sound different from your normal voice. If you can sell your normal voice as a completely different human being, right? You can lean into the role, then you don't have to do, a gruff man voice or a high comical voice or emulate your favorite voice actor who has that really stunning voice. Your voice is yours. You might not like it, but somebody else might. And I've seen people try a little too hard to sound like a performance that they've heard.
My name, it's John Doe.
And I think that if I was to give a second one, I think some people spend a little too much money on their setups, which is not a great idea if you're not already raking in a lot of cash.
Yeah. How much did you spend on your first setup ever? Remember
On my
that
first ever?
Yeah, like when you started out, was it like on getting a good XLR mic at the beginning, or interfaces or anything like that, or did you just start out with an old USB headset or something?
When I started out, it was because I was doing like gameplay stuff, but I was still like, hey, I want to have a really good microphone. So I went and got myself a then relatively expensive Samsung mic. Now it's about half the price of what it was. It was £100. And I got a phantom power to like USB thing, which was not a good thing to go for, but I was an idiot. I was a kid. And in total, it was like, £150, something like that, which is not that big, considering some people I've seen going out of their way to buy Neumann U87 mics at £3,000. And I'm like, you do not need
Holy
that.
shit. Oh, man.
Yeah, you just straight up don't need it.
Yeah, I think like when I was starting out in October last year, I did a little bit of reading on what should I get, equipment-wise and stuff. And many people actually say, at the beginning, yeah, don't spend too much money on that kind of stuff. Just throw yourself in there, gain some experience, and then over time, take care of room treatment and equipment and all that kind of stuff.
You can get it by if you just buy like a really cheap, let's say Melon Audio microphone, right? They're as budget as you can get. They get a cheap, I would recommend a 24-bit interface if you're getting an interface. So you get like a Melon Audio mic, a cheap interface, and just buy an audio blanket or something, right? And then just put that behind you, just straight behind you, and that will do a lot.
That's something also I really appreciate about having you on the server. You know your stuff about all that kind of stuff. If anyone asks a question about, how can I improve my audio quality or something, then you turn up and, just enlighten them. And
it's very difficult to give a good answer though when everyone's, room dimensions are different and everyone's needs are different.
I actually have a bathroom rug lying on my table as we speak, because I saw you write it in the server. Works pretty well.
They do work well. I've got a very thick rug on the bottom of my booth right now. It's on the floor. And then on my desk, which is right next to the microphone, I have on the bottom layer a yoga mat. That is the bottom layer that sits on top of the desk. And above that, a big felt, very large mouse mat. And that absorbs most of the reflections off the desk.
Man, that's creative. Very nice. Let us turn up the heat a little bit with some rapid fire. Are you ready?
Yes.
Alright, rapid fire! Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy IX?
9, easy peasy.
Scripted or improvised?
Improv. I mean, I love scripted, but improv.
Deadpool or Joker?
Joker.
Most overrated anime?
Evangelion.
Okay. Most overrated game?
Oh my goodness. Oh. Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, okay, not bad. No, let's finish this. Favorite swear word?
See you next Tuesday.
Okay, I take that. Now let's get back to. It's more than a word, but I let it count. It's okay. Let's get back to most overrated game. You said Grand Theft Auto. So are you? You're not part of the GTA 6 hype or anything?
No, I could not give fewer tosses if I tried.
Okay, so just not your type of game, or is it because of the hype, or?
I used to like the games. I liked the first one when it came out, brand new when I got it. Right, it was a great game. It was all caricatures. It was very goofy, and then there was London, which was even goofier. GTA 2 was okay. I don't think it was as good as 1 in London. And I liked 3 and Vice City when they came out. Vice City was fantastic. I even played San Andreas, which I don't like. I don't like San Andreas. I didn't gel with the story. I didn't really like the locale. And then I played 4. And I thought 4 was great, but they'd started to take a turn at this point to less caricaturish and started to become more embedded in some degree of realism that I didn't really like, and maybe I was just outgrowing it. I don't know. And then I played 5 and I was like, this is just overrated. I played like an hour of the story and then never touched it again.
Okay. Since I've known you and since you joined the server, your performances covered a range of emotions, and also on your channel with your content as well. I've seen you act all kinds of emotions: angry, desperate, funny, laughing, and all.
Fire! Fire! Let me out!
Which emotion is the hardest to act convincingly, in your opinion?
I think the hardest one to do convincingly is, I'd say, desperation or hopelessness. Those ones are the hardest ones to do. I mean, when it comes to anger, like, I feel like anger is really easy. You can just raise your voice, just, sound a little more imposing. But when you have that, like, little bit of desperation in there as well, and I call back to that scene where Squall shows up without Renoa, and the character that I was playing is meant to sound both angry but also have a level of desperation in there, and I don't feel like I did it justice in that regard. It's the one emotion I struggle with.
We have something in common there, I think, because I know which scene you're talking about. It's on the White Seat ship where you played Watts.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch! What did I say? What did I say, huh? I told you to take care of her! That nothing better happened to her! Scumbag! You pathetic, lying scumbag!
And back then, I thought it was pretty goddamn amazing. It was pretty good, I think. And I remember you saying, I'm not that content with that scene. And
Yeah.
I have that a lot as well. Like, people react to my stuff and say, like, hey, I like that performance. And I think it was shit. I'd love to do it over and to do it better. So I can relate to that. If you can pinpoint that one, what's your favorite type of character to voice? Is there like a stereotype or something where you would say, okay, that's the one I'd actually enjoy the most?
I like multiple types of characters. I get typecast as old characters a lot, and I do love playing the old guy.
It's been a while, everyone. How's everyone doing?
But I like playing the young arsehole of a character. The guy who's basically a bully. It's just the no craps given, just complete douchebag. I love those characters.
All right, so how happy are you with Steiner on FF9? Because I feel like you're enjoying that one a lot.
I like Steiner because he's flamboyant. He's always got energy, and it gives me an excuse to shout at you and call you all kinds of names.
Insolent fool! Princess need not sneak around, and you will address her as princess from now on, you silly peasant!
You imbecile!
I really enjoy.
Yeah, you little ruffian!
I love doing that.
Awesome. Okay. We're almost through. I have a couple of questions left. The next ones are going to be like hypothetical situations, a scenario that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to include a question in them. So the first one is:
Sweet.
You wake up tomorrow, and every fictional character you've voiced knows who you are. Who kills you first?
Light Yagami.
I'm so fucking horny.
I'm so hot. Wait. Please don't send me to the police. Light, go pick up the book.
What kind of new doujin is this? Death Note. Wow, how original. There's already a Netflix show about that.
Look at that boy! Look at that boy! Big boy!
Oh, look at that ass.
Reading the rules of this notebook would be...
I thought you'd say that.
Either him or Suzaku and Code Geass.
I kind of suspected you would make a little bit of fun and, include some dark stuff in there, but some of the stuff is like totally out of the blue, and yeah, it's amazing.
I made him into such a loser.
There's this one quote. I killed her because she took my pen or asked me for a pen or something.
She had the nerve to ask me for a pen.
Yeah.
Like she knew my cock was small.
Oh shit. Is that video
I don't
still
like
on your
people
channel?
talking about me online. Yeah, it's still there.
I'm gonna take a look at it again. Enjoyed that one. The next scenario is you're forced to make family-friendly content for a year. You're forced to make family-friendly content for a year. How miserable are you?
I mean, I wouldn't like it as much as what I currently do. I could do it though. I can do family friendly. But yeah, I mean, I think I'd be a bit miserable. It's hard. It's hard to be family friendly.
Yeah, I feel like you're like in your most natural state if you do the stuff that you do on your channel, and I
Yeah.
can totally see that you're absolutely enjoying it. One sign for that is always that, you know, the stuff that you do turns out good. Also, maybe subjectively, but when I'm watching it, I'm okay. And also, it looks like you're putting effort into this stuff. It's not just like, you know, I'm gonna do this and do it in a couple of minutes, upload it, and that's it. You take care. You're taking care. You care about what you do. That's what I wanted to say. So keep doing it. It's cool.
If there's no planning, there's at least going to be quality and mastering.
Yeah, I gotta teach
To a
me
degree.
some
Quality
improv.
in quotation.
You gotta teach me those improv skills at some point. It's really amazing.
It's all experience.
Every swear word disappears from your vocabulary. Can you still be funny?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's doable. I've mastered the art of double meanings.
Of course, this
I
is
don't
a
need to swear.
half-serious question, of course. But I'm gonna show some great scenes with lots of swearing, so it's a good question to ask, I believe. We're coming towards the end. We're approaching the end of the podcast. Another one that I have for you is, if you were to meet young Dodgson, like from 10 or 15 years ago, and you could give him one advice, what would you say to him?
I would say to myself, let's say I met myself 15 years ago. I would say to myself to, first of all, invest in various companies that have made a lot of money. And secondly, get a booth right now, dickhead, and get on Reddit and Twitter and all those things and start putting in the amount of effort that I'm putting in 15 years later, because you didn't do enough now.
So
That's what I would say.
is that because back then you kind of didn't care about that kind of stuff, or why?
I had a lot going on, and I didn't feel like I had the time to pursue a lot of the things I really enjoyed doing because I was really, really busy. But I think that I should have done it anyway, no matter how tired I was, or miserable, or what kind of a bad situation I was in, because I've been through a lot of those. And I feel like I should have put in more time into the things that get my voice out there, get me more experience, and just have fun. Because I spent an awful lot of time just sitting around, just going, there's no real point, you know.
So there's been some development over the course of the time for you.
Oh, yes.
And as far as I know, like at the present day, you're absolutely busy. You're like taking part in something all the time. Always some projects going on for you.
Yeah.
I think you once told me
every day.
Yeah, not that long ago. You told me you are currently in, and then you said an incredible or a ridiculous number in how many projects you are currently involved.
Yep.
So
It's a very large amount.
is it like, does it feel like work for you, or is it like more like, you know, fun and pleasure and hobby?
It's definitely fun for me. I think my issue is just keeping track of it. Like, I don't feel like that's work. I just feel like I'm the person that should have put more things on my calendar so that I know when I'm supposed to deliver something here, when I'm supposed to do this, because I get people going, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm not trying to not do stuff. I just totally forgot about this one.
Are you organized? Like, do you have do you write stuff down and have post-its all over your walls, or do you like just go with the flow?
I organize sometimes. I feel like half of my life is pure chaos, and the other half is this nice sort of everything is in the right box. All that particular type of cable all goes there, and these things are all nicely labeled. And then on the other side is like my kitchen, where everything is just higgledy-piggledy, shoved into random cupboards. and I don't know where anything is. So I'm the same way when it comes to sorting out my my work-life balance.
Okay. An interesting question or a question that would interest me personally is regarding your YouTube shorts. Like, when you come up with an idea, how much time does it take you from the moment you get the idea until you upload the thing?
Depends. When it comes to those shorts that are like full improv episodes and whatnot, I'd say the turnaround is years, because they were recorded some of them a few years ago. But when it comes to something else, like, let's say I made an audio sample for my voice at one point, where I was like, I've got a few voices I can do for this game or whatever, then that's just a couple of minutes, basically. It's sit in front of the microphone, make some funny sounds, and then just edit something together. And I'm getting faster at editing, but in terms of how long it takes to make a short, let's say we don't count how long ago it took to record it, we don't count downtime in between, then the recording itself is as long as the episode was. There's no prep. It's just you start playing, we start voicing, and then the amount of time it takes to actually edit and master the actual full episode could be, for a 20-minute episode, about an hour or more, depending on, you know, how crazy I was with positional audio and effects and whatnot. Like in Code Geass, it's all of the mechs have their own, like, you know, effects, and then the interior of the mech has its own effects, and then character A is coming out slightly from the left side, and then if they move to the right side, then the audio sweeps by with them, and I get a little a little into it in that regard. And then there's an extra level of time taken when I'm deciding what goes into a short, and then it's a 3-minute short, but it took 40 minutes to edit, you know. So from recording to actually making the full episode to making that 3-minute short, you're probably looking at like 3 or 4 hours of work.
All right, yeah, I can relate to that as well. Especially, you know, as time progresses, I think, like, I'm beginning to get more finicky about stuff as well. At the beginning, I was just like, taking a couple of minutes, do some cuts, some lazy stuff, and then, okay, that's it. But meanwhile, when I re-listen the old ones, I'm like, God damn it, that's pretty bad.
It sounds flat. It's like two people in a podcast talking to each other.
Let me ask you another question that kind of makes use of your experience. An interesting one that just came to mind, actually. And, you know, I've met quite a number of people, meanwhile, that told me about experiences that they had with auditions. Like, many people seem to be, you know, quite worried when they audition for stuff. They send auditions, and then people told me they look up the page every 20 minutes to see what has changed. Wonder, did the project dude take a look, take a listen already, and stuff like that. And then they kind of are down when they get rejected or something. What's your approach with auditions, and also maybe advice for those people that tend to worry a lot about them?
Yeah, I mean, I do sometimes go to like the casting calls and whatnot, and I refresh every now and then. I find I do it when I don't have something else to do, because then you start dwelling on the things you've done. And how I tend to deal with it is either by volume of, I will apply for a whole bunch of things and then be very surprised months down the line when someone says, hey, that audition you did 5 months ago was great, you're in. And then I'll be like, I don't remember doing that one. Well, hey, great surprise. And the other thing I do is, well, I take my mind off of things when I don't have more things to audition for. And I do think auditioning for more things helps. But when I don't, I mess around. I test my recording setups. I play with the audio. I practice doing takes. Sometimes I make little clips that will never go up on the internet because they're mostly just for... And I find that a great way to take my mind off it, because sometimes I'll do a take and I'll go, I wish I'd kind of done that for that audition. It was way better than what I did in the audition. And then I carry it forward into the next audition, you know? So That's my way of dealing with it. I understand the disappointment that some people feel, but ultimately, there's always the next audition.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a TikTok one time. Unfortunately I cannot say the guy's name because I don't remember. I just scrolled and then saw it. If anyone who watches this knows this one, please let me know so I can credit this dude. But anyway, he actually talked about it and said you can treat auditions like grenades, you know, as soon as they're out. There's no like sense worrying about it anymore. As soon as you hit the send button, they're out there. It's out of your control. So don't get too upset about stuff. Just trust the process. It works or it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, you know, take a lesson from it in any way and keep moving forward. So I like that one.
Yeah. Look at the people who did get the part as well and ask yourself, did you do worse than them? Did you actually, is there something that was missing in your audition that they did? And oftentimes you might find that the answer is no. Your audition wasn't worse than theirs. Theirs wasn't inherently better. It might well just be that is what the director was going for. He was like, yep, that voice, I really like how that sounds for this character. And there's nothing you can do about that. That is completely out of your hands. No amount of get good will ever fix that. You just have to accept it.
Yeah, that one actually encourages or should encourage people to also audition for roles. Like, let's say on Casting Call Club, I scrolled through it yesterday, and some of the roles that I actually wanted to audition for, I saw already had like 300 auditions, and I skipped them because I thought, okay, the chance of me getting this one is so tiny that I'm not gonna invest time in that one. I'm just gonna look for those ones that have like 10 auditions and try them. But now that you said that, it actually encourages me to still send them out.
Yeah.
Because can absolutely, especially for projects like, from my perspective, if I'm looking for someone to voice someone from a game that I like a lot, like Final Fantasy 8 or 9, for example, I already have a vision in my head and some preferences for which voice I'd like to hear, and then someone can have that voice, and even if the performance is not as good as someone else's, still it's the one I want. So yeah, I can understand that. Pretty cool.
You can always improve a performance. Completely changing a voice, now that's difficult.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced that one? I'm pretty sure you have, but I'm gonna ask anyway. You audition for something, and then you make like a dozen or many takes, retake, until you think, okay, now I have the one, and you send it out. And the day after, you're doing some other stuff and have one take for a line, and they go like, okay, that was actually pretty good. It's better than the ones where you take like 50 takes until you get it.
That's an interesting one. I can't quite relate to that because most of the time when I deliver takes for something, I most of the time deliver the first take. If there is a need to do a retake, it's usually because there was some guy on a bike outside, or a cat decided to, cause a catastrophe in the kitchen and the mic picked. Because most of the time I just go, this is what I sound like, this is what my recording's like, and this is the kind of performance I can do, and then that's it. You get a mostly raw take. But I know that some people do like, multiple retakes, like I'm going to yell this line out, and if it doesn't sound authentic enough, I'm going to do it again. And I think that I chose willingly not to do that because it's something that I did when I was a lot younger, and I realized that sometimes you skip over something that would have sounded great to someone else and came out naturally.
Yeah.
And you forced it, and you did something internally in your own mind where to you it sounds great, but to someone else it sounds rehearsed. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to purposefully only ever deliver something within like the first take or the second or the third. Never going to do multiple retakes.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome that you say that, because I asked this question, and also all of those questions, since we talked about every swear word disappears from your vocabulary, they're all, spontaneous. I just came up with them right now. This last one I asked you just now is because I got that realization not too long ago. Because I'm in the voice acting game for not too long. I'm still consider myself a beginner. And at the very beginning, up until recently, I did that a lot. Like when I was doing takes, I listened to it and then I thought, okay, how can I improve it? Is there maybe some tonation I can change and make it better than it already is or isn't?
Yeah.
And then, recently I was thinking, man, it kind of feels unnatural. Why don't I just go with the first one and then it's either enough or not? But the first one is usually the most natural one. And now you just told me that you used to do that at the beginning as well. And then as time progressed, you kind of had that realization as well.
Yeah.
So that's my new approach from now on as well, I think.
There's also the fact that there's no greater critic of your voice than you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're never going to please yourself. You may as well just throw something out there that you put in the effort for and let somebody else critique it.
Yeah, I think almost everybody can relate to that. Especially
my voice.
At the beginning, it's even outside of voice acting, many people, like when they hear their voice on a WhatsApp voice note or something, they feel a little bit cringed.
Yep.
So
do I really sound like that?
Yeah. All right, I think we covered more than enough time for the episode. Thank you, Dodgson, for taking the time for being here. I had a blast. It was a pretty cool podcast. I wish you well. If you join this week's session on FF9, I'm going to be happy to see you.
I will.
All right, cool. Don't forget your invisibility vault. And until then,
I did it.
All the best to you, Dodgson. See you soon. Take care. Thank you again for being here, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.